Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Yes, I'm officially classifying my workshop as a mess. I've been so busy today, I haven't had a chance to do anything except clean all the box filters I had. But today is November 19th of 2025. It's Wednesday. It's 44 degrees Fahrenheit or 7 degrees Celsius at about, it's going on 6:13, 6:14 in the evening. PM. We had a request to do a dormant pruning on a pomegranate, so that's what I'm going to do. I forgot the requester's name, but that's what I'm going to do today. The last repot on, come on, I forget all your names, guys. Bernadette. The last repot on Bernadette was May 11th of 2021. And it was last pruned by Dave of Dave's Bonsai on July 30th of 2024. So, this is a dormant pruning. Don't be afraid to prune your pomegranate. And if it doesn't wake up in spring, don't worry, please. Because Bernadette slept for about a year, and then she finally decided to wake up like in September. And she stayed awake for 2 months, and she went back to sleep for the winter time. And she woke up in, when was it? Probably late February. So always be patient with them, because sometimes they need to sleep, just like you and me. So, Bernadette's an oldie. She's an old girl, a little over 35 years. Also, I had her a long time. Here's her trunk. So we'll do a repot in the spring. But right now we're going to clip a lot of the dead stuff off. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the stuff off the bottom of the trunk. I'm going to take my ironwood tools, because you know nothing cuts wood like ironwood. And I'm going to throw some of these in water. The little ones, maybe not. I'll throw it in. If I can fish them out later, I'll fish them out. Maybe we can make a miniature. And I'm going to take this one over here, this one on the bottom. We're going to clear up the trunk, put them in water right away. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to take this one. We could leave it on and thicken up the trunk, but we'll see. I think it'll go into here. But I think I'll take it off. Mr. Clock says hello to everybody, and he says, Tom, it's 6:15 p.m. in the evening. So we got some more branches here, and this is like a water branch. So I'm going to cut this back to here. And yep, it's still green. Throw that in the water. Now you can see all this cluster over here. We don't want that over there, because then we'll get a big knot. We'll cut that. And this is the best time to prune trees, when they're dormant. I gotta watch so I don't eat that branch that's poking me in the face here. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Throw them in there. We'll see what we can do. This one's coming out at a pukey angle. And I don't like this one right here. Well, let's cut it here. Looks more like a slingshot. We'll cut this out of here so it grows out that way. And we're gonna cut this one out, all these little dead ones out of the way. And then from this curly Q over here, I'll cut it here, and I'll cut it here. Who knows, maybe we could root it that way. You never know. And yeah, even these little pieces are still green. I don't know if you can see it, but they're still green. Throw that in the water. Okay, let's take this out, take this one out. Take it all out of the trunk, because we're getting a little belly there on the trunk. And we'll just go from there. Stick these in water when I get time to do it. Now you can see this one's going out this way, but I want to keep it a little bit shorter. So I'm going to keep it into here. And now this big branch right here, it might be dead, it might not be dead, but I'm going to take my ratcheting pruners from ironwood, because you know nothing cuts wood like ironwood. I'll tell you, I guarantee. Like Justin Wilson used to say on the old cooking shows. And you can see this piece of the trunk is dead. So we got that off. And let's put it over there. Yeah, with the needle nose, at least you can get in. Now you can see these are coming straight up out of the branch. Well, they usually call them water shoots in the landscape business. So you want to take them off. Now this one is coming up nice out of the trunk here, so in case this one doesn't die, I'm going to leave this one. But I'm going to cut it back short right above the brain. There's 2 brains over there. So I'm going to cut that over there. Now when you do something like this, you got to really think of what you want to do. So right now we got a curly Q branch coming out, so I want to keep this as a nice canopy. So I'm going to try to get some of these little shavers out of there. And this one doesn't look too hot, so I'm going to cut this one right there, because we got a brain and something coming out there. Whether it grows or not, I have no idea. And I'm going to cut this one to about here. Take that piece off. Now Dave tried to widen this out, but it was pretty hard to do. And I'm not going to wire it, I'm just going to leave it. So we tried, Dave, or it was this part. Yeah, this part here we tried to widen, but I don't know. She just didn't want to hold, Dave. She didn't want to hold. Now you can see these are like 2 water shoots here growing up. But we want these to fan out, so I'm just going to cut it there. It's green. Green above the brain. Green above the brain. So let these fan out. Let's see what's going to grow. And we're going to cut this one right here. Yep, they're all green. So no branches. Now this one's big and tall. I don't know if you can see it. It's way sticking up way high in the sky. So I'm going to cut this back to there. Way high in the sky. Here's another one that looks like a water chute. So we're going to cut this one back to here so we can keep it compact and get it fluffy, not stuffy. Cut this one back to here. Now this one here, you can see it's just drooping like that. So we cut that back one down there, but I don't want this coming down. This one's coming out, but we'll just leave it and see what takes off. We'll cut it back just a little bit to there. And now this one's coming out through here, so you don't want this one to grow into the canopy. Let's try to leave it a little bit airy. And then this one, I'm going to cut it right above a brain right there. And maybe I can get one of these to grow. Now you just got to be ruthless and cut. But not to cut too much off. Well, she'll never know the difference because she's sleeping. So I'll put some of these greens in there. Now this one here, I got a nice little branch coming out this way, so we're going to cut it right here. Now this one's coming out and sticking me right in the eyeball. I'm going to cut it right in the brain over there. Now you can see this one's coming out and into the canopy. And this one's coming straight through. So we're going to have to check this branch here, because it's really going crazy here. So we got a brain right about here and right over there. But we got one over here, so let's put that one there and see what happens. As she grows, we can always clip it back then. Now this one here, there's no brains along this stem, none whatsoever. So we're just going to cut it right there. That one's nice and green. We'll just cut this back a little bit. Oh, that was green. Now this one's coming straight up and out and into the canopy. So we're just going to go into close and just snip it. I like these needle nose because they get into these real tight spaces. And if you type in my name when you go to Ironwood, if you order online, NOWAK, you'll get 10% off. So we'll cut this back to here. Get this one out. We'll see, we're just cleaning up the inside, the middle of the canopy. Now this one's way, I don't know if you can see it, but let's get this up higher. Okay, Tom. We're all discombobulated here. This should have been around this way. There we go. Now we can work the camera up and down. So let's take that up. You can see how high it's grown. It's tall. She's tall. Bernadette is tall. So this one is real reaching for the sky. But I want some of these brains to grow. So I'm just going to be ruthless and cut it right to there. And this one I'm just going to stick in the water for now. Maybe we can use some branches to make a mini. This one's growing into the middle of the canopy, so we're just going to cut it off. Let's see if I can see it right over here. So just vision how you want to clean up the inside of the canopy. Now this one's going back in itself and into the canopy there. So we're going to take it off to here, and hopefully these will come out. And we'll cut this one back to about there, because it looks like there's a little bud, but no, that's dead. So we're just going to cut that off. And hopefully all the vigor goes into here. Now this one's coming straight out like a water shoot, so we're going to take that one off. And we'll take this water shoot off. Now these are flowing this way, so that's good. Now here comes one straight around like a curlicue. I'm going to cut it right above a brain there. And this one's way out of the way. So we're going to cut it above this brain. And we're stuck onto this piece of branch, so we're going to cut it right above a brain right there. And stick that in the water. Cuttings are always fun to try and grow, especially in the wintertime. Now this one is growing in on itself, so we got to figure out how to get rid of that. So we got a double branch here. So we're going to just cut her back to there and cut this one back to here. So maybe we'll get something to bush out this way. And put all these over here. This one's growing straight into the canopy. So I got a bud coming out this way. So we're going to cut it right over there, right above that brain right there. And now, let's see what else we got over here. This is tall. So we could have it coming out this way, coming out that way. We clip that one. But for now, I'm just going to cut this back a little bit. We'll see how Bernadette does. This one's going in. I don't know if you can see, this one is going into all the branches, so I don't want that there, but we got a nice little branch there, and we got a couple of brains over here. So I'm going to put them right there and see what brain grows. And this one looks dead. Let me cut it just to see. That's deader than a doornail. And this one looks deader than a doornail right there. Yep, nothing growing there. Let's cut it back to a brain above right here. And that's got some green there, so we're going to let that grow, so maybe we can get some branches out this way. This one's deader than a doornail. Okay, now what are we going to do? What are we going to do? That's what you got to think. Measure twice, cut once. Well, get the old eyeballs going there. Cut that over there. Let's open up the canopy a little bit and cut it over there. Because we're going to see what Bernadette's going to do for us this year. How you doing here, Bernadette? Anything green on here? Maybe. Maybe not. Now we got to get this one that's poking me in the head. There's a lot of good buds. A lot of good buds over here. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to cut it right above there. And cut this piece off right about here. That one's deader than a doornail over there. Okay, let's cut this back into a canopy there. There's still some green on that one. Now this is higher than the sky also, so we got to cut this one back so we can keep her bushy. There we go. Yep, we got green on it. I was going to say, Tom, that's a lot of cuttings. Well, you never know what's going to survive a rooting and what's not going to survive a rooting. So you just take what you can. So all I'm doing is because I want it nice and bushy. So this one's really coming up. So I'm going to cut this one back to here. Just like that. And ask for Claire if you're ordering on the phone. She'll help you out. Just say Novak sent you. Not Mr. Novak that was on TV. I think he was a school teacher or something. So we're going to get this one and cut this one to here. And we're going to cut this one to right above her brain, right there. And this looks like a good stick to try and through it. Okay, so I got a big conglomeration here, but I don't know if this one's alive or dead, so we're going to cut that piece off. And I need a Sherlock Holmes magnifying glass for that, but it looks dead to me. And this looks dead up to here, but I got a little bud over here, so I'm going to cut it to there. Well, it's green. Amazing. Bernadette, you're surprising me here, young lady. Yeah, it's all green there. That's good. Okay, Bernadette, let's just get some of these here off for you. Cut this one back a little bit. Just a little bit more. And we'll get this one here. Cut this pitchfork out of the way. And we'll cut this one back a little bit here. Maybe it'll bush out the branches more. So, what else can we do? She's looking good, like I knew she would. But this one is grown into the canopy. So cut that crossing branch out. We're going to cut this dead piece off right here. And this piece right about there. Let's see. Oh, that piece is dead. So we'll get rid of that one right there. And cut this one back a little bit so we can have her bush out. I gotta say, Tom, what's the front? I have no idea. It could be any one of these. It could be this. This could be a front. This could be a front. And we got these sticks growing out. Now, I'm going to cut it off. Sorry, Bernadette, we got to cut these off. Cut that one out. And if she continues to shoot some out until these grow on the top, I'll let them grow. Now this one we cut back, but I think we can cut it back a little bit more. We'll take this little dead piece off right there. I'll just cut it back just a hair. Mr. Clock says hurry up time. It's 6:30 in the evening. So we're just going to cut this piece off there. And there's another one sticking up all the way up here, way high in the sky. Like the kids would say, it's way high in the sky. So I'll cut that one off. Cut that piece that's going into there. I don't know if I can cut this little teeny-weeny piece off. Yep, the needle hose gets in there. And we got it. Now this one I think is dead over there. And we'll go for there. We'll go from there. Now I'll find my wood glue for this stump over here so we can make it look old looking. I don't know if something grows here, but she's green. So we're going to just lipstick this up. I won't bore you with lipsticking it up, but what I do is I take the LA Color ones, and just like on these little ones, I just do a little dabble doody, just like that. Just like that. You don't have to do them because that's usually a pencil cut that does it. But when I spray them in the basement, it's not like it's got sun to dry it off right away. And we'll just go like that. So today is Wednesday. It's potluck day, so catch up on some of your videos that you missed. Watch your favorite artist. And tell them Tom sent you. So you take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bernadette looks cool. Dave, that's the best I could do when we spread it, so she's going out this way. I could cut this, but nah, I'm going to leave it. I want Bernadette to get her vim and vigor, because usually she doesn't do well if you keep pruning a lot on her. So she is very temperamental to me sometimes. So you take care, everybody. Have a good day. Cup of tea. See what you want to do. Read a book. catch up on your videos, whatever you want. Watch a movie. And what the best thing to do is enjoy it with a cup of tea. So take care and have a great night.